Hi everyone, thank you for joining me again for another plant of the week. Just yesterday we had a herbal class here in the garden and we discussed Damiana. So today I will be sharing some information about this beautiful ancient herb. Before we get started, just always taking a deep breath and honoring your ancestors and the ancestors of the land on which your body sits or lays or stands. Thank you. So, Damiana is just a really beautiful herb. I have some here with me, and it's really gorgeous, has a really beautiful scent. And there was a specific reason why I decided to talk about Damiana. And that was because we are a little over a week now after the elections. And lots of folks have been feeling various emotions. And I felt it was really necessary to bring in an herb that could possibly assist the folks that I speak to and that come to the herbal classes, and also just all of you. If you feel that this herb calls to you, please reach out, have a cup of tea, and learn from this plant. Now, Damiana is a shrub that grows throughout Mexico, so also parts of South America, again, Central America, and even parts of Texas and Baja, we have seen some Damiana. Damiana is really warming to the body, so keep that in mind during the colder seasons. It's a nice herb to add to your herbal teas and whatnot. It does have a bitter taste, so therefore it is very stimulating to the digestive system. Stimulating in a good way, not in a very aggressive way. We need more bitters in our diet. We are very sweet and salty. Bitters are good. Bitters assist with our digestive system so that we may digest our food properly. So that's one really beautiful thing about Damiana. It has a really gorgeous scent and taste. If you've never had a cup of tea of Damiana, it has this beautiful florally, earthy, gorgeous, undescribable taste to it. It's really quite delicious. So if you do any research on Damiana, you are going to find that it is first known and promoted as an aphrodisiac. Now, I really love to talk about aphrodisiacs so that we can really challenge how it is that we view these plants. Aphrodisiacs are always seen as a plant to give someone else, to encourage them to be with you. But in this case, I want you to explore the idea of an aphrodisiac for self-love and for self-care, for oneself, not necessarily trying to encourage or stimulate someone else. If you wish to use it that way and both of you agree, or if all of you agree, it's a beautiful way to experience Damiana with others and with yourself as well. Self-care is very, very essential, especially when we are feeling very low energy, feeling overwhelmed and anxious and tired. Self-care is very, very essential. Damiana is also a nervine, meaning that it really nurtures the nervous system. Really a beautiful tonic for both the nervous system and the reproductive system, and we'll talk about that very briefly. But it is very calming to the body. So this is something, again, that when we are feeling overwhelmed and we are feeling out of sorts, nervines are a beautiful type of herb to bring into your life, into your daily routines if possible. Trying to stay away from the coffee, trying to stay away from stimulants, and bringing things that are going to calm you so that you may function throughout the day in a very balanced level, and be productive, because we're not, again, overstimulating, we're not having that chitter chatter in our mind, and feeling overwhelmed. Damiana is a beautiful herb to keep you nice and balanced, and it's just gorgeous. So a couple things that I did want to point out about Damiana is that it is in the Turneraceae family, which means it is related to passion flower. So both have very similar effects. Again, very calming to the body, very nourishing to the nervous system, and a lot of us can use that, a lot of nourishment to our nervous system. So it is an ancient herb used again and still used today by many Maya. It has been used and recorded with the Aztecs, and many indigenous people still use Damiana today for its calming effects, for its beautiful effects on the reproductive system. So we have many birth workers, midwives, herbalists of all kind using Damiana for its beautiful effects in both the nervous system and reproductive system. So some of the things, I'm looking at some notes here, some of the things that it is beneficial for is a mood enhancer, right? So if we're feeling low and down, Damiana can just really calm us and uplift our spirits. It is also very stimulating, so stimulates blood to the reproductive system and reproductive organs. Now, if you are pregnant, please consider this, that there is stimulation within the reproductive system, so we don't necessarily want to do that if we're a pregnant body. If we have a heavy flow during our moon or bleeding cycles, we definitely want to consider that. Also, honoring during both ceremonies of bearing, holding life in your belly and the beautiful ceremony of bleeding. So definitely considering that Damiana is probably not the herb that you want to take during these moments. It is also, again, a relaxant, so very calming, hormonal balancing effects. It's really beautiful for those that have any sort of issues, that feel overwhelmed, say in the PMS time, pre-moon, pre-bleeding. It's also really beautiful for those that are elders that are experiencing a menopause. So Damiana can be very beneficial with balancing the hormones, calming the nervous system, tonifying, and just nurturing your reproductive system. So again, a very beautiful, beautiful herb to have a cup of tea with. It also is very stimulating, again, to the for the digestive system. So if you have a couple of cups of tea, you might find that you have a nice flow, or even possibly a loose flow, because it is a mild laxative. So you want to keep that in mind. But when we are so anxious and when we are so nervous, things begin to inflame within our bodies. The digestive system is one of those systems that begins to inflame when we are feeling overwhelmed. So always considering possibly incorporating some anti-inflammatory herbs, of course, but also some calming herbs, so the digestive system can calm, the nervous system can calm, and we are then properly digesting our foods, receiving all of the nutrients, and also reconnecting to our flow, to our digestive flow. So I'm going to stop there just so that I don't go too far and too long with this video. I do want to show you one example of what sort of medicine that you can make. If you want a cup of tea of Damiana, purchase some good organic Damiana. Take 2 tablespoons to 1 cup. Bring water to a boil. Turn the water down to a low heat without the herb material in the pot at this point. Once you bring that boil down, you add the herbs of Damiana, for example, and you allow it to steep for 15 minutes, and add some honey if you choose, and enjoy your cup of tea. So what we're going to do next, very quickly, is we are going to make a Damiana elixir. So here I have already prepared a jar of Damiana. So here we are, beautiful jar. I have some here. My hands are washed. So I have some here. This is what I have. So if I could, I would fill the jar completely, but at this very moment, this is again what I have. And now we're gonna add our alcohol. So I have a brandy here that I'm gonna be using. So let me bring this up here, right? So I'm gonna fill this. Allow it to just meet the herb. So that is about halfway, I would say. I'm going to pause this part of the video because I'm going to add honey now. And honey can get a little sloppy and can also take some time. So I'm going to pause, add possibly a little bit more brandy, and also combine honey. So give me a second and I will do that. Okay, so as you can see here, I've added some honey and it's slowly making its way down, steeping. I'm going to add a little bit more of the brandy. Now, I would prefer that it is completely full. So after this video, I'll probably go pick up some more brandy and some more honey and completely fill this jar. But until then, I'm gonna give it a little shake, and you can see that beautiful mixing. And all of this is just really beautiful. The herb is now communicating with the alcohol and the honey, and this will stay stored for about 6 weeks minimum. And I'm going to keep this in a dark cabinet preferably, so that all of the magic can happen in the dark. Now, once this is done, I will strain and add into little droppers. I did just prepare some Damiana elixir and bottled that up, so I have a couple available, but try it out. This will be done in about 6 weeks, so if you are encouraged to contact me and get one, you can do so. You can email me. It's just a beautiful way, another way to experience herbs other than teas. Other things that you may do with Damiana is take a nice herbal bath with Damiana. Can you imagine all of those beautiful, relaxing, loving properties of Damiana in a beautiful little bath? Of course, in the state of California, we are in a drought, so I would even just make a nice little bowl and take that into the shower with me and wash after I've done all of my shampooing and, soap and whatnot. We don't want to really combine the two if we're taking a spiritual bath or shower. We really want it to be just full of herbs and water and medicine and our good intention. So lots of beautiful things that you can do with Damiana. Explore, have fun, and I wish you well. Thank you.